What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Jr. You're watching The Road to Beast Wars. This is just a web series. We're talking about the production of Transformers Rise of the Beasts. This is episode number 71, and the movie has been shown to lucky people who have attended the premiere. So it has been seen, so they will know all the answers to all the questions that I'm going to pose in this video. But I have questions myself, and I thought, let's generate a little bit of discussion before I watch it tomorrow. Okay, so I just wanted to take a moment to talk about some of the characters, the lesser known characters in the film, because we already seen the marketing and we know that there are four Autobots on the forefront. Okay, Optimus, Bumblebee, Mirage, and RC, and then there's the Maximals, which we already know. Air Razor, Cheetor, Rhinox, and Optimus Primal. Then there are the Terracons, which is Scourge, Battletrap, and Nightbird. Okay, then we started getting more material, such as trailers, promotional material, and then we started noticing that, hey, there are other characters in this movie that weren't mentioned. And one of the most notable ones is, of course, we've heard that Wheeljack is in it, but he's not in a lot of the marketing. I mean, in terms of like the character posters, all right? We've seen the posters for the other four Autobots, but why doesn't Wheeljack get his own poster? And take a look at him right here. That's Wheeljack. Okay, there's no need to talk about his appearance anymore. That's said and done. Okay, but why is Wheeljack not getting that much I guess love, for lack of a better term? He doesn't even have his own poster, and I have a feeling it's because he's the one that bites the dust. He's the one that dies, and he is the character that. He only appears in the third act of the film, which is Peru. We've seen the marketing. Of course, we haven't seen the whole movie, but we've seen the marketing, and he doesn't appear in any of the New York scenes. So the first and second act, he doesn't appear. He appears later on in the third act of the film. And so he's going to be a bit of a minor character. And you know what? I guess I'm okay with that, because based on looks alone, I'm not that fond of him. I do, however, like his toy. Moving on, let's talk about this Terracon Transit. We first found out about Terracon Transit from some Japanese material. Okay, there's some Japanese promotional material regarding the Terracons. We got Battletrap, Scourge, Nightbird, and Freezer, and then Terracon Transit. The funny thing is that he's got a Decepticon logo on his head, and from what I understand, he looks like he's got bus parts on him. So he's going to be a pretty big Terracon. And I think that he is the Terracon that gets wasted, okay? Battletrap, Nightbird, and Scourge, they make it all the way to the very end. They have to, right? But at some point, somebody's got to be toast, okay? In the first film, we had who did we have? Actually, nobody really died until. Okay, that was a bad example. But there were mini battles, and then they all survived. But in this case, I think we're gonna have battles where a Decepticon is taken out at the very beginning, such as like in Revenge of the Fallen. We had Sideways taken out very, very early in Demolisher. So I think he's gonna be kind of like one of those Decepticons that get taken out. We see him as a bus. He transforms. He gets in a fight. He's done. Okay, that's what I think is gonna happen to Transit. Okay. Now, this is when it gets a little bit interesting. What about Terracon Freezer? When does he show up in the movie? And I have a feeling that he's like one of those mini Terracons that shows up at the very end of the movie, where you see all these little Terracons running around, and he's one of them. But based on the final trailer that I just saw, he kind of reminds me like a frenzy type of character. You can obviously see that Stephen Cable Jr. got some inspiration from the Michael Bay films, where there's a lot of these type of mini-con type of characters. And he looks like a relative of Frenzy. And I think that this scene is in the museum when Noah and Elena are looking for an artifact, and then the Terracons are on their way to get it, and they encounter them at the same time. It's a chase within the building. Okay, so that's when I feel like that scene is going to happen, and there's like several Freezers. Why it's called Freezer? That's a really good question. But anyways, that's Freezer. He's a lesser known Terracon. Moving on, let's talk about Scorpionock. Well, let's talk about Stratosphere. So when does he show up? He shows up on the second act of the film, because he's, obviously in the first act we're focusing more on the the main Autobots, right? You know, Optimus, Mirage, RC, Bumblebee, and then they gotta make their way to Peru, so they get the use of Stratosphere. Okay, Stratosphere. He just shows up. Okay, like we don't even see him we don't see him like stationary with landing gear on. They just call him, and then it's kind of like calling on the cavalry, and then there he is. Flies in, does a grand entrance like Jetfire, and then there you have it. That's Stratosphere for you. I'm really curious about his toy. Is it going to be leader class? What is it going to be? It's probably going to be something huge, but I'd love to see that toy. And then we have, now this is very, very interesting. A Scorpionock. Scorpionock, there's several different Scorpionocks. The thing about Scorpionock is that, first of all, there's several of them, and they have different color schemes. Like, for example, there's one that's being thrown around, and then he's got like turquoise and red on him. Okay, then there's this other one that is gets ripped in half, or gets attacked by Optimus Primal, who's in a fight with Optimus Primal, and then you see the colors a little bit more faded. So this shows you that there are several Scorpionocks out there, and Optimus Primal smashes a lot of them. He's smashing one in one scene. I think this is near the end of the movie, and then he's swinging around another one in another scene in the movie, and he seems to like be taking out a lot of them. So this is the forest scene, and the other one is near the end of the movie. So that's Scorpionock for you. Once again, I hope we get a toy for him. That would be really, really cool. Finally, I'm really curious about this character. This is a very mysterious character. And from what I've read, he's a character called Apelinq. And I've never heard of this character before, but from the TF Wiki, Apelinq is a maximal scientist who is part of the Wreckers. And I don't know if they're applying any of that to here. Maybe he's going to be a named maximal. But this one looks, at the beginning I thought that's Optimus Primal. Okay, but there's two things it could be. Okay, there's Optimus Primal after he's maximized and has all his stuff on, his armor on, maximized mode or whatever, power up mode, right? Because he's going to go up against Scourge later. As you can see, there's a lot of silver parts on him, and he's got arm blades, so he's going up against Scourge. And I'm thinking, why wouldn't he turn on those arm blades when he's fighting against Scorpionock, right? But obviously, if he's fighting against Scourge, then I guess this is closer to the end of the movie. Otherwise, I think that's another Maximal who goes by the name of Apelinq. And what we're seeing right here is this is a flashback scene. I'm just guessing that as Optimus Primal is narrating, giving a little bit of exposition to Optimus Prime and the other Autobots, he's talking about a flashback scene where his brother, or a version of himself, went up against Scourge and lost. Okay, so that's what I'm thinking that it could be. But I don't think that Apelinq and Optimus Primal are going to share the screen together, because that would just be a little bit too confusing. And there's like the two Optimus Primals for those that aren't, that don't know anything about Beast Wars, okay? Because like, when I first take a first glance at it, I'm thinking, okay, that's Optimus Primal with armor on, right? But when you take a closer look, you just think, hey, that's a totally different ape. Okay, so anyways, I don't know the answer to this, but I know a number of people do because they've already seen the movie. But anyways, I just thought I'd throw out these questions out there, and you guys can discuss in the comments section. All right, so there you have it. That's all I want to talk about in this video. I just wanted to talk about some of the lesser known characters, or the characters that aren't getting a lot of screen time but have my interest. Okay, my name is Alex Yu. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.